Hi, everybody, and welcome to our free training today. I'm really excited about this training. It's called the Business Mindset for Uncertain Times. And to even start it off, I just had a very uncertain experience with Facebook Live, where I tried to do the live, bringing someone on, and it didn't work, to say the least. But I do have a mindset expert with me today. And so she actually gave me even some free little, guiding me through, helping me go through this experience. So thank you. I'd like to introduce Ruth, and I can't really say your last name. Is it Shawka?
Shawcouser Tower. It's a mouthful.
So Ruth is an exceptional person. She is a yoga and meditation teacher and spiritual life coach, and has also successfully owned a yoga studio for over 12 years. I believe that you've already sold your studio, actually. So not only has she had
Mhm.
the studio for 12 years successfully, but she even successfully sold it. And so, to set the stage before I hand it over to Ruth, I want to say I was stressed a little bit because I've been talking to people in Pilates and yoga businesses, and my heart went out for them because they said they don't want to go online because it's impersonal. It's not the same, and they would. Some people even said they would die before they go online. Before they did go online, they're very against it. And also, and I'm not a mindset coach. I help with profit planning. So I help you get to your revenue goals. Like, you want to make $350,000 in 10 years, we'll get there. We'll make that plan. But for mindset, that's not me. And I'm happy to say it's not me, because I think it's important to bring people to the leaders and the teachers that can most effectively guide them. So that's the question that I reached out to Ruth. I was feeling for my clients, and I was like, Ruth, I don't know what to say. And she said something so extremely powerful, and then she agreed to come on, speak to it, and speak in this training. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Ruth. Thank you
Yeah.
for thank you for coming, Ruth.
Oh, my pleasure to be here. I love talking things that I'm passionate about. And, as you said, I did own a yoga studio for 12 years. And the other side of that is I teach yoga and meditation online now. So I've done both sides of it, right? But it's something I'm super passionate about. I have been from the moment I started doing yoga. So, but the other side of it is being a business owner, and also now being a mindset and a life coach. I kind of bring in a whole bunch of different elements to what I do. So I can say that in the 12 years that I had my studio, I weathered a lot of changes. A lot of things happened during 12 years. And even just to get past that hurdle, those first like 5, 7 years, which are like the really like make or break points, I got through that. But I will say right up front, like, I did not own a studio during a pandemic or during COVID, right? However, the mindset principles that get you through one challenge will get you through any challenge. So, mindset is once you learn mindset principles, they will prove their worth in gold through whatever situation you are experiencing. And so, even though, yes, I didn't own or haven't owned a studio in a pandemic, I don't really think it matters because the mindset issues are the same no matter what. So, I'll just, kind of lead with that. I will say that when I started my studio, it was a passion thing for me. I was super excited about bringing this beautiful practice to my community. I was married, I had 2 young kids, and at first it was just a side business, meaning that it was just bringing in supplemental income for my family. And then 2 years into having my studio, I got divorced. Not because of the studio, because of other things, but I went through a divorce. So now my studio, which had only provided me supplemental income, all of a sudden now had to provide for me and my 2 kids.
Huge
And
shift.
and we were in the middle of the worst economic recession. This was right around 2008, 2009. So not only did I have a really big ask from my studio to bump up and to be able to now produce way more financially for me, I had to do it in the middle of the worst economic times ever. So all the odds were stacked against me.
Yeah.
it's really no different than the kind of odds that I'm sure studio owners feel that are stacked against them right now, just this different set of circumstances. But it's the mindset principles that get you through no matter what that is. So I kind of lead with that because I've gone through my share of challenges, as any yoga studio owner has. And what you find is that the mindset and the strategies that served you, they almost have like an expiration date. They serve you for a time until they don't.
Yeah.
And there's always, economic things, pandemic things, health. There's always changes going on, all around us, or even in our own lives that changes the game. And so all of a sudden you're met up with challenges, and all of a sudden now you need new tools that you do not yet have. And I think that's really important to know that the things that have served you, and I'm speaking to all of you beautiful studio owners right now, the things that have served you up until this point, you're probably realizing aren't working anymore, right? They just don't. The same strategies, the same mindset, the same practices don't work in this new landscape, right? So we have to employ different strategies. So what's so beautiful about this is that I'm here to offer you the mindset strategy that's going to help you get through this time. Caitlin here can give you the financial strategy. So we can just be like a dynamic duo here and help meet your needs. So you do need different strategies, right? And that's why she's so brilliant at what she does with the financial strategies. But if your mindset isn't right in the right place, it's almost not going to matter. So we need to have both, right? So let's talk about these mindset things that can really help you. And the first thing is that we know that mindset, well, if you don't, I'll tell you, but I think you probably know that mindset is like literally responsible for about 80% of your success or lack thereof. It all comes down to our thoughts and what we choose to believe or don't believe. And so your mindset will either keep you stuck in place, it's going to hold you to where you're at and not allow you to continue to grow, or it's going to open you up to so many more opportunities that would benefit you, so many more opportunities that would benefit you. And all of it always comes down to or begins with our beliefs. Okay. So your mindset is directly related to your beliefs that shapes your thinking and it shapes your thoughts. And then, of course, your actions. And now I know probably a lot of you know this, but I'm just going to give a backup view. And hopefully, this is just a really good reminder. And hopefully, it also with what I'm going to share here gives you some new insights. You're like, oh, okay, I can see where maybe I've been blocking or I've been resistant to the one thing that would make all the difference right now. Okay. And so I'm not necessarily here to advocate for or against this online hybrid model. Okay. I will say it can be a tremendous opportunity for you. And if that is the mindset piece, if that's the belief system that is blocking you, I really ask you to have an open mind, at least for right this moment. Okay. So I'm going to use that as the example for what I'm talking about. Okay. Because that seems to be so relevant for many of you right now is you've been doing things one way and that hasn't been online. And I totally understand the resistance to going online or doing a hybrid model. But before I can even address that, let's back up and talk a little bit more about the belief system that is behind your resistance. Okay. So our beliefs hold us to a certain point of view. They only allow us to see so much. We know, let's back up even further. We know that we live in a universe that has unlimited energy, opportunities, potential on an energetic level. Just on an energetic level, we know that everything is energy. There's always more being created all the time. So in this universe in which we live, which is infinite, there is never lack. Okay. So there's always more. We have to start with this like base level belief and truth that we live in a universe of unlimited energy, unlimited potential and possibility, because that's just how the universe is created. Okay. So if we can hold on to that belief, that then should shape everything else that we do, everything else that we do. right? We know that we live in, like I said, everything is made up of energy, your thoughts, everything is a vibrational energy. So we want to work from that point of view. Now, where we often get stuck is that our beliefs, again, like I said, are only holding us to one small picture, one small view in that infinite field. And I love this example. One of my favorite places on the earth is Acadia National Park up in Maine. And if you've never been there, it's just beautiful beyond words. But anyways, I go to the top of the mountain and you can literally see the horizon and you can see the ocean and you're looking out and it's just a freaking amazing view, right? And I've got so many pictures of me and my family up on this mountain. And we take a picture, snapshot, right? And that's the memory of that point in time. Now, I could look at that picture and go, that's all there is, right? That's the mental, it's the actual snapshot, and it took in this much. And this is what we do mentally all the time. We're taking mental snapshots of what is possible, and it's only showing you a little bit. Now, the picture is leaving out the whole rest of the horizon, the whole rest of the view. It doesn't fit into that frame. But what happens over time is our thoughts and our beliefs become conditioned to just that snapshot, and we think that's all there is. I bring this up because it's so important to remember that most often you are just holding to that snapshot, that limited point of view, and you're forgetting that there's so much more, that you live in this big infinite universe and there's all these other possibilities, but it's just this. It's just this. Okay. And I know that probably makes sense to you, but so how do we apply this to your mindset and your business? It is important to remember this because we always have to be asking the questions that get us to back up and see that bigger view. Your mindset, the resistance that you feel towards anything, whether it's going online or whatever the resistance it is that you're feeling, are related to your beliefs. Okay. So we need to question our beliefs. I'm a huge, huge fan of asking questions. I think we should always, always be asking questions because questions open up, guess what? Opportunities, new solutions, new different ways of thinking. So one of my favorite questions to ask is, what else is possible that I cannot see? Right now, you're saying, I'm going to take back up. I'm going to back up even further from that little snapshot. I'm going to back up, and I'm going to see more of what is there. And then the other question that we ask in relation to that, besides what else is possible that I cannot see, is what belief am I holding on to that is causing me resistance right now? What's the belief that I'm holding on to that is causing resistance? When you start to notice what that belief is, now you can question that belief. And it'll start to open you up to, again, a world of possibilities that could actually benefit you, that are there to help you, that could help your studio thrive and grow and become more. But it's really hard when we're just holding on to that small snapshot because of our beliefs. So let's play this out with my example of I'm resistant to going online or having a hybrid model, right? And again, I totally get this, but I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here. Okay. So the resistance around the belief, right, could be I believe I'm going to lose the sense of community that I have worked so hard to build. And I know that. I worked really hard to build community. Community was probably the thing I was proudest of from my studio that I owned for 12 years. That community was gold. It was the hardest thing to leave. And so I know how important that sense of community is. It's vitally important. It's sometimes transcends the practice that we're actually doing, you know? So I get that, and that's probably one of the biggest beliefs is that I'm gonna lose that sense of community if I have online or hybrid, right? But when you look at it, it's a belief, and it's a belief system that's just a snapshot of what is possible, and it's a belief system that's holding you back from a bigger possibility. So we question that. We say, well, how could I foster community and connection with my students online? What would that look like? How could I do that? We have to open ourselves up to that conversation and that dialogue and that thought process. So then you start to ask that question. You start to answer it. Well, maybe I'm going to engage with my students online 10 minutes before a class, 10 minutes after class. And if you can't personally do that, you have an assistant teacher who's going to do that for you. And they're going to be connecting with those students while you're connecting with the students if you're doing a hybrid model, right? So this is what I do in my online classes. Like I said, I teach solely online right now. And I have my students come on early and we chat. And I will say, it's not meaningless chat. I want to have I want to connect. I got these few moments, I'm going to connect deep. And I've learned the skills to do that. And so that might be a skill set you need to learn, is how to kind of create that kind of connection online, but you can create it. You can also bring new people in and get them talking to other people. And you can do that. I've had new students come in and I'm the one who facilitates that. I facilitate the questions and, hey, tell me more about this that's going on. And then they get to know this person. And now we're creating community online. There is a way to do it. So, but it starts with questioning the belief and then saying, okay, well, how could I do this? And brainstorming options and ideas and letting your thought process just kind of run wild for a moment, right? So again, you might have to increase some skill set or get an assistant to do it if you're doing a hybrid, but there's always a solution. But we have to question the belief behind that. The other belief that might be related to that is I won't be able to give hands-on assists, adjustments, and that's really important. And I get that too. That personal touch, you can't do that online. I totally understand that, right? But let's question the belief. How could I help students go deeper in their poses online? There are ways. You could host a special class and limit it online to just 4 to 5 students, and they're doing poses and you're watching them and you're giving them real-time feedback. This is an aside. This is like an extra class. So they're learning proper alignment and you're doing this all online. You can do this. You could also teach them how to self-assist, self-adjust. And that's a powerful tool for people to learn too. So there are some ways that you can do this that is going to help facilitate that concern. But again, it comes down to, more often, I'm not here to give you like all the tangible ideas. I just want you to question your thinking. I want you to question the belief, right? You want to get to know this belief and find the core of your resistance to it. What is it about it that you are really resisting? And then you just keep asking, what else is possible? And you need to challenge your own thinking, because when you don't, you're basically kind of saying, I'm resisting all these other opportunities that are there for me. And you know what? There's so many more opportunities, not just one way to do it. And the other thing that we have to talk about then is our emotional attachment to the way things have been. And that also ties into our identity. We see ourselves as a teacher, as an owner that has a certain idea because of the culture and the community that we've created in our studios. And now, if we're changing that, who am I now? It changes your identity. We have to be willing to release our even emotional attachment to these things, because again, there are possibilities and opportunities that you can be missing because you're holding on so tightly. And it's all about, right? We're all like in yoga and everything that we do, it's all about transformation. It's all about evolution. It's about getting our students to grow and change. And we have to be willing to do the same. We have to be willing to question our own thoughts and notice our emotional attachments and release that emotional attachment if needed, so we can make way for a new opportunity that might be wanting to come. So notice where you might be emotionally attached, where it might be attached to your identity. Can you let it go? Just to have this period of questioning, right? It's so powerful. So, I will say come back to the kind of practicals, there's a lot of pros and cons, right? With the online and the in-person, and you can make lists of those. All right. But what I think you're going to find is that there are way more opportunities when we consider all the different ways that we could serve by offering more opportunity. I will say this, because I've gone online, my students can attend anytime, doesn't matter the weather. So weather is never a factor. They can attend class. They can attend class more often because they don't have a commute time or a travel time to and from class. So they only have a certain window and they can hop on, or they now have access to a whole library of classes that I provided for them so they can practice anytime. And this is all paid for, of course. Um, it also can reduce the entry point. You know, those students that are just uncomfortable coming in person. How many times have you heard? I heard this all the time. People would either call me on the phone and I have my studio, or come in and they're inquiring when they're like, well, I'm going to wait until I'm a little more flexible or I lose a little more weight. And you're thinking, this is why we're here for you. But they aren't comfortable coming into class yet. But guess what? They can join in the safety of their homes until they are comfortable to come in. Or, of course, not because of COVID concerns, right? So there's so many more opportunities, and it reduces the entry point for students to have these options. Now, is the online option here forever? I don't know. But it gives, what in my perspective, it gives far more opportunities than it takes away. It offers more opportunities, more benefits, more ways to serve. And you all the limiting beliefs around lack of community are just that, a limiting belief that needs to be questioned, because there are ways to build a beautiful sense of community even online. It doesn't mean you have to not, you can still have in person, but it just gives you options. It gives you both. So with that, let's talk about another piece in all of this, and that is the mindset piece around security. Okay. So we find security in what we know and what we're used to, and that is limited. Because what we know and what we're used to is only so much, and there's all this other, right? But we find security in that. True security is going to come from your willingness and your ability to be flexible and adapt. Okay. So much more security in knowing that I have a very flexible, adaptable mindset. So when things are constantly changing, which we are, they're always going to change, that I'm adaptable. I'm adapting and I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm trying new things. That is security. That is your security. It's not holding to what was because you're comfortable with it. True security is being adaptable and willing to change. And so it comes from having an expansive mindset, all right? One that's always allowing new ideas to come through. So you question your beliefs again and again. You're just constantly questioning them. And you're bringing in diverse points of view because you want to make sure you're not leaving any opportunity, any amazing opportunity. What if the one opportunity that could make the difference between you thriving or not was the thing you were resisting? Oh my gosh. Like, we don't want that. So be open to it all. I will go back to my economic challenge, 2 years into having my studio. I had to be willing to try some new things that I had not yet done in order to get the business going to support me and again, amidst of some crazy times. I had to think about things differently. I had to try things I hadn't done before, things that felt uncomfortable, but I did it and it worked. Obviously, I had my studio for 12 years. And as Caitlin said, I sold it when I moved. And that's the reason I sold it, is because I moved out of state. So, but you want to bring in this expansive mindset that really does allow for true security. So, and it also, again, allows you to stay doing what you're passionate about doing instead of getting blocked by holding on to the way things were. So ask questions, challenge your beliefs. Again, my favorite question, what else is possible that I cannot see? Love, love, love that question. It's just so, so powerful. And then also be open to receiving answers. Be open to receiving answers. You're going to ask the questions, but are you blocking the answers when they come? Right? So be open to receiving the answers. Be open to anybody's, don't dismiss somebody's suggestion. Entertain everything. Entertain everything. And by doing so, you're going to make sure you're not blocking, though, again, the one thing that could be the thing that would really help you move forward. So be open to receiving whatever's coming your way. And just remember that you are always manifesting. I think you already know this. You're always manifesting. You're always manifesting what you're a vibrational match for. So you need to shift your thoughts at the level of your belief to vibrate with what you want. Okay, so we can't just think about it, we have to feel it. So if you want to manifest a strong community, even online, you can manifest that because you're going to believe that is possible. You're going to vibrate with that belief and it will happen for you. You want to manifest a thriving business in uncertain times, you can do that because that's the belief that you are choosing, and you are letting that run through you through and through, and you're vibrating with it, and you're open and you're receiving, right? You want to manifest a business that's secure and growing. You can do that, but you have to be able to let your mindset and your beliefs adapt and grow and change. So you can use your passion to manifest anything you want in this business. It is infinite, but it's going to start here and trickle down. And that's going to allow you to either bring in and manifest everything that you want, or it's going to hold it back. But I hope that with what I've shared here, it inspires you to go, okay, Ruth, I'm going to question my beliefs. I'm going to try and think about this differently. I'm going to be open to seeing a different point of view because I don't want to be blocking that one thing that can make the difference. And if I can leave you with anything, it's that one thing. You don't know what it is. So be open to it. Be open to it. That is how you create a mindset that allows you to keep going in uncertain times, because this time I know has a lot of uncertainty into it. And we might go into a time now that's going to feel a little bit more even keeled. And guess what? You're going to end up in another time that's going to feel uncertain, and another and another. And you're going to adapt and you're going to change and you're going to allow yourself to flow through it and keep looking for the new opportunities that are there for you.
I absolutely love everything that you said, and I'm going to just interject really quickly because
Yeah.
it's so powerful. This what you've just spoken to, and I have a different kind of business, right? I serve the Pilates and yoga community, but something recently happened with me. It's exactly what you're talking about, Ruth. Where when you have a business, it's so easy to get focused on that little picture instead of the
Mhm.
other possibilities. And I'm just going to share really quickly. When I started my business, I just really wanted to hold on to this red branding color because
Mhm.
when I was in corporate finance, it was so important to be bold and to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you really get trampled down. People really discredit you. It's a very interesting environment. And so
Mhm.
when I started my business, I was like, I internalized it. Like I want to have this red branding color. And it took until recently, after many coaches have come in and talked through, like, you're supposed to be serving your ICA. Think about branding colors that will call in the people that you want to work with. And this last week, I finally opened my mindset to think, what's the possibilities of me thinking of these other colors? And then I got such a peace with it. I started
Mm.
feeling good. I started looking at it. I'm like, wait, that does look pretty good. Like, this actually is a nice thought, and kind of letting this in. Now it's going to be a
Mhm.
lot of work to make
Mhm.
that transition because I did hold on to this picture of myself for so long,
Mhm.
kind of the bold, corporate finance person, but I'm not in
Mhm.
that world anymore. And
Well,
it's
see, you're talking about the identity piece.
exactly, it was
Mhm.
my identity. And I'm not that and I get to enjoy that I had that at that time, but I'm moving
Mhm.
on. I'm
Yep.
transforming into this new world.
Mhm.
Um, that's one piece. And another thing I do want to say is that, especially when it comes to mindset, I really appreciate what you're saying, because um, being willing to accept what people are saying, but also like finding someone that you have chemistry with, or like that you work well with. It's really nice to open up your mind to be like, maybe this person didn't work well with mindset, but maybe Ruth is the person that I
Mhm.
really, identify
Mhm.
with, her teaching what she's saying. So definitely those kinds of things as well, where if some coach or some idea didn't
Mhm.
work,
Mhm.
shifting over to someone else, listening to what they have to say, and that might be the right person.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I think that's really important, is to not um, discount just because one person's idea, one person's take on it didn't resonate with you, doesn't mean the idea was actually bad. It maybe just wasn't the right person to let that flow through to you, right? So stay open. Stay open.
Exactly. And actually, even and I'm talking about myself, but we'll get back to you guys. But when I started with a business coach, I had a business coach my first time who was not the person that I could identify with. It seemed like
Mhm.
he wasn't giving me answers that I was looking for, and the answers that he did give me didn't seem to be focused. So I had this belief,
Mhm.
no coach is going to help me, and that actually put me back. So actually having this
Mhm.
belief of there are people out there to help you on your journey and who can be there for you is such a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So we have to stay open, and um, really almost like allow the, I mean, I'll say it this way, allow the universe to lead us, right? Like there's just, I absolutely believe, and I would think that probably everyone that is listening to this would subscribe to this belief as well, that the universe is always, it's there to support us. It wants us to thrive. And even energetically, with what you're doing as a yoga, studio owner, a Pilates owner, I mean, believing that the universe wants you to do this beautiful work that you're doing. Like it's part of why you're here. So believe in that, and then let yourself be led, and we have to sometimes get out of our own way. And we get so passionate about what we're doing, but sometimes that gets us too narrowly focused. And again, we have to step back and take that bigger view and kind of reground ourselves in, oh, this is bigger than me. It is bigger than you. Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful. And I'm so thankful to have you on. And I want to encourage people, all of us, that if we are stuck and we see that the universe or something is pushing us to be online, like it's pushing us literally, but we're resisting, we don't have to do it alone. Like there are people, I didn't know, Ruth, for example, that you existed, but you do. Right? You're there. You're there to help. So
Yeah.
we can even also let go of our past mindsets, but we can also believe there are people that can help us in whatever
Mhm.
issue we might be having.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
That's big.
Definitely.
So
Mm.
before I close this off, I want to say thank you so much, Ruth. How can people get a hold of you? And also, do you have a freebie that you offer at all that they can reach out to you for if they really want to?
Yeah. Well, my long name, Ruth Shawcuzzer Tower. But you can find, even if you just search Ruth Tower, on Facebook, it'll come up. On Instagram, I'm on there as Inner Sky Living. So Inner Sky Living is my business name, which kind of encompasses my, everything that I do. Again, yoga, meditation, but also my primary business right now, my yoga meditation is like a side thing. That's my side thing again. It was the thing. Now it's a side thing because I still love doing it. But I came full circle. Yeah. So, but my main work that I do is spiritual life coaching and mindset coaching. So that definitely. So you can find me at Inner Sky Living. You can find me. Look at Ruth Tower. Probably easier than Shawcouser Tower, but it'll still come up. And, yeah, as far as a freebie, I have, most of the guy I'm trying to think because the people that I work with are not specifically yoga studio owners. But I do, I'll have to think about that. Let me think of something that I have some resources, just not off the top of my head. I have so many resources, but I can share something with you that Caitlin, that you can then offer out to people. So I have, like I said, I have a lot of things from, oh gosh, all the many years of doing what I do. So, yeah, like I said, most of my online things deal with people who are looking to reclaim themselves, find themselves again after, life takes them in many other directions away from who they are. So it's all this process of self-discovery and reclaiming your power. That's what I do right now. But mindset is obviously a big, huge part of that. So,
Absolutely beautiful. I want to encourage everyone that if you do resonate with Ruth, reach out to her, DM her. She'll be tagged. I'll tag her in this. Again, I love the idea of community. So I'm really hoping to
mhm.
push this with my group and with the people that I talk to connect people with the people that can support them and help them, or at least just be a part of their community going
Yeah,
forward.
and if anybody does have any, like, specific questions for me, don't hesitate to reach out. You can send me a message in Messenger or DM me. Totally happy to answer any questions you have. So,
Perfect. Thank you
yeah.
so much, Ruth. So happy to have you. And again, so thankful that people like you exist to help us to kind of break through these challenges that we're having. We don't have to go at it alone, even if it's something
No.
that we traditionally think we do. We
Yeah,
can have people out there. So
yeah, yeah.
before I break for this video, I do want to remind you I help with profit planning. So if you do have any issues with spreadsheets, if they make you anxious or stressed, or you think I just don't want to look at it because it's too hard, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy, and I can help you with that. So reach out to both me and Ruth if you have any of the questions that we've talked about, and look forward to talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.